Hello, gardeners. Thank you for joining us. This is Mid-American Gardener, and we are here to talk about plants. So we'll do that in just a moment. My name is Diane Nolan, and I teach horticulture at the University of Illinois on the Urbana campus, and I'm in the crop sciences department. So I might answer questions about cut flowers and perennials and landscaping, etc. But there are three people here with me, and these panelists need to be introduced so you can find out what their expertise is. So I'm going to go first to you, Dr. Tom Voigt.
Hi, I'm Tom Voigt. I'm also in the Department of Crop Sciences, and I do work with perennial grasses, lawns, ornamental grasses, and assorted other prairie grasses, etc. I have a question here from Marilyn, and Marilyn, this is her second try at getting the answer she's looking for. So we're going to try to help her out. She's got a problem with tall fescue in her finer textured turf lawn. So she's probably got a Kentucky bluegrass lawn or a perennial ryegrass lawn. And the tall fescue, the old-fashioned types of tall fescue come in as clumps, grow as clumps, and they grow faster than the desirable turf grass, and they're broader textured, or the leaves are much more coarse textured or broader, and they really stand out and they're unattractive. We have a couple of options for controlling those. Marilyn said she's pulled it out, but you really need to dig it out and get a couple inches below the surf, get a couple inches of soil, and then fill that hole back in and seed it. This time of year, I'd seed it immediately. She said she used Roundup and it killed the grass. Yeah, Roundup's a non-selective herbicide, and it will certainly damage the turf as well as the tall fescue. The tall fescue probably may need a couple of applications of Roundup to take that out, and it needs to be sprayed when it's actively growing. If she's worried about damaging the turf around it, you might take some Roundup at the level that you're looking at, or at the rate that you're looking at, and use rubber. Put some rubber gloves on and paint it with a paintbrush. Paint the leaves of the tall fescue to keep from getting it on the desirable turf. And then finally, if she can find a lawn care operator that has some chlorsulfuron, that is a product that will take out tall fescue. Be aware it will also take out perennial ryegrass, and so if the lawn is perennial ryegrass, the chlorsulfuron will not only control the tall fescue, but also can damage the perennial ryegrass. So that would be not a good thing to spray at that point. By the way, we do recommend the tall fescues for most of our turf plantings here in central Illinois. The turf type tall fescues make a great lawn. They're drought tolerant. They're attractive. And do
you recommend it for the whole Mid-America?
Yeah, we would recommend for most of the central part of the U.S. It's probably south of I-80, north of I-70 would be well, even further south than that would be great for tall fescue. But it's a great grass, and the improvements that have been made in it are very dramatic compared to what you see as the lawn weeds right now. So Marilyn.
So I think you took good care of her on the tall fescue.
I hope so, because she wasn't very happy about this.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. Well, let's go next to you, Marianne Metz, in the middle.
Thank you. I'm Marianne Metz. I'm a horticulturalist and landscape designer and a gardener. And I have brought this evening some show and tell. One of my favorite things, Japanese maples. And this is a sampling. And Japanese maples are wonderful in the fall, beautiful fall color. They have wonderful form. But look at the spring colors, the variations of the spring colors. Absolutely beautiful. Texture and color that you just don't see. It's almost as good as the fall color, almost as good. But this is beautiful. So many different textures. Boy, they're in bright color right now too.
It's gorgeous. Wow. Love those textures. How many do you think you have?
In my yard, which is a small city lot, probably 2.5 dozen.
You don't like saying the whole number. You like to say 2.5 dozen.
I know, it sounds like more.
I thought it sounded like less.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever can maximize
so you have 30 Japanese maples?
Probably.
Wow.
And I have more than I'm considering.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. We'll consider you an expert in that. And let's go to the person on my left, Dr. Don White.
Yes, I'm Don White. I'm an emeritus professor of plant pathology. I taught introductory plant pathology, disease of field crops, and diseases of ornamentals and turf grasses at the U of I for about 33 years. And more recently, I've become a master gardener. And I did research on corn genetics, and I don't think we're going to get any corn questions here, so we'll go with the first question I have is on green gem boxwoods. And these people are having trouble with the green gem boxwoods. They're about 9 years old. Previously, they'd been healthy. In midsummer, they started looking crummy. That's probably a good descriptor. And the leaves turned a yellowish orange and started dropping off. Thought they needed water, but that didn't help. This spring, they're looking a little better. Now, this person sent in some wonderful pictures, and we really appreciate good photographs. The photographs look an awful lot like Cylindrocladium leaf blight. That's Cylindrocladium leaf blight.
Very good.
That disease was brought into the U.S. about, 8 or 9 years ago.
Wow.
In Connecticut, then it was on the West Coast. I'm not so sure that it's been found in Illinois before. Now, there's also a leaf miner, and it could look an awful lot like this. Now, what you need to do is take a straight pen, peel around on the surface of the leaf, and see if you get this little body crawling out. You won't crawl, you'll stick it. And that'll be the leaf miner, in which case you're going to use an insecticide. If you listen very carefully, you'll hear a little scream. Then, otherwise, you may want to check to see if it's a fungal leaf spot. I would suggest, because you'd really like to know if it's an insect or a fungus,
Right.
send this to the plant clinic at the University of Illinois. If you just Google plant clinic, UIUC, or University of Illinois, it'll come up.
There's our information.
There we go. It's a good place. You can look at it with a microscope, see the fungus or see the leaf miner. They're also asking about flowers, and yes, this does flower, and yes, they are dinky, as expected. And a leaf curling, you get a little bit, they ask about that also. You get a little leaf curling naturally. And there's also a mite that'll curl the leaves, but the pictures they sent didn't look like that at all.
I mean, it's cupped.
Yeah, when the mite does it, it really
It's-
wrecks them. It makes them into little purses.
But it's not that unattractive if you use it in vases. It's really, if you trim it.
Yeah, I
I've
would
had-
think that somebody could find some use
Yes, it's not that
Silver
bad.
lining.
And the early bird flowers on boxwood, honeybees love them
And the
Oh,
bumblebees,
yeah,
and
that's
you get a lot of
because
flies
it's an
coming in too.
early source.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to come. Mine are starting to get ready to pop any day now.
I've got some that were in flower. So
Oh, do you?
yeah,
That's
so it just
great.
depends on the location that you have them. So anyway, that was those are nice questions, and thank you folks for sending them in, and good
Thanks
show
for
and
the
tells.
pictures.
That is great. Well, I want to let you know that there's still some seats left on our garden trip, so let's find out more about it. Hi, I'm Diane Nolan, host of WILL TV's Mid-American Gardener. On Thursday, May 28th, join us for a jam-packed afternoon of gardening fun. First, we'll hop on a bus and head over to Danville Gardens and then Country Arbor's Nursery for special demonstrations by master gardeners. Both nurseries will provide a discount on items you purchase that day. After that, it's back to WILL for dinner and then on to the TV studio where you'll be part of the first ever live studio audience in Mid-American Gardener history. We'll take your questions along with emails from our other viewers. After the show, stick around for dessert and conversation with me and my panel of experts. For information on how you can attend, visit will.illinois.edu/willtravel or call 217-333-7300. The agave, also known as the century plant, spends many of its years without growing any flowers, after which it grows one single bloom and dies. Okay, lots of interesting things going on there. Well, we're going to go to our line one first, and John's asking questions about some flowers to choose. Hi there, John.
Hello, I got a question. I got problems with cats in the flower bed and in the garden. And I was wondering if there was a flower to keep the cats out of the garden and the flower beds from making their messes.
Well, I know some people, I didn't think about, you mean so they don't scratch in it, but some people use sweet gum balls and things that the cat doesn't want to go in there. I think chicken wire would probably do it, but that's kind of hard to plant in and around. Anybody else think of? It's really more keeping them away from, some kind of a structure that would keep them out of it. I know daffodils, they don't like to chew on them, but I know that they would dig around them.
But I think they're repellents, not necessarily for cats. I know dogs. I don't know that it'll work on cats, but probably the chicken wire with mulch over it would be the best thing to keep them from digging in your flower bed. But I don't know any flowers that they don't like.
Yeah, we know ones that they do like,
Yeah.
ones that drive them crazy, like catnip and
Yeah.
catmint.
Yeah.
But so you might just have to have it be exclude them from it with the chicken wire, with structures, something like that. So I think many people have the same issue, so maybe they'll let us have some hints of what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, John, for that question. Let's go to line 2 next, and Kathy has a question about some organic materials. Hi, Kathy.
Hi. I got a question about, I'm trying to do as much organic as possible because, that's my thing, I'm like an organic gardener. But anyway, there's some weed killers out there like that has, it has like white vinegar and Epsom salts and dishwashing soap, and I don't know how effective that is I don't know if to do that in my flower garden is what I want to know.
Well, I know that there was a vinegar, one that was commercially available that was vinegar, but I don't know about Epsom salts. After a while, that's going to build up in your soil.
Yeah, that's what I would think, yeah.
I would be is it one that you mix up? Is that what you were saying? It's not commercially available? Oh, Kathy's not there. But anyway, I would be very leery about having Epsom salts every time you used it as a weed killer. But I know they had one that was vinegar and it had clove scent added to it.
Oh, sure.
So, I mean, that's a little bit of acidity.
Corn gluten meal has been used in
Yeah.
lawn care.
That's right.
Routinely, yeah.
As a control. It's won't give you 100% control if you have a lot of weed pressure, but it's kept crabgrass out used as a pre-emergent. And the positive thing about the corn gluten meal is it's about 10% by weight nitrogen. So I think the turf is able to compete with the weeds. It does have some herbicidal properties, but then the nitrogen helps the turf compete with the weeds along with that. So there has been shown some reduction in weed populations when that's been used.
I think that's
kind of a
sold under the
win-win.
name of Preen, P-R-E-E-N.
That's Treflan.
I thought Preen was an organic.
I think it has some
Yeah.
inorganic in it.
Okay.
I think so.
Last time I saw it was sold under the name Wow, which was sold as without weeds is what they were.
Oh, that's
they were
clever.
by Gardens Alive.
So they're both clever names. So it's
Yeah.
the WOW that is the organic one. So there's a few ideas for you, and we hope that helped you out. And then there's always weeding. That's pretty
that.
organic.
Ho, ho, ho.
Right there. All right, let's go to line 3 next. And Kay has a question about blackberries.
Good evening.
Hi.
My question is, I have blackberries that I put in 3 years ago. It was late in the season on that first year that I put them in. And then last year, they got leaves on them, and they weren't real abundant or anything. This year now, they're looking really good and all leafy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering when will they be ready for harvest, or when will there be a berry come on?
I would say it's rare the first year, especially since you put them in late. But this year, I don't know why you wouldn't have a
Oh,
sporadic.
absolutely.
Maybe not as much as you will get, but I would think they would put on some berries this year. And then you want to make sure that you have the new canes that you keep and the old canes that you remove. And you'll be able to tell this coming year that you need to remove those old canes. They actually change color. They're a little bit, not as vigorous and red looking. So I think this year, what do you guys think?
I think she'll get some.
I think that would be my guess. And probably next year they'll do even better. And then you'll think, wow, they're taking over my, but anyway, they can be very healthy after that. All right, so thank you very much for that one, Kay. And now we're going to go to line 4, and Betty has a question about a perennial. Hi there, Betty.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I have a bleeding heart on the north side of my house, and it's being overtaken by iris and spearmint.
Did you say spearmint? Oh,
Yeah, and I would like to transplant it.
okay. I'd say do it right after the show. I'm
Honestly,
serious.
Honestly, you're right. It should be
March
done
and
now.
April, I know it's not March, but March and April, early May, cool weather.
Yes.
I transplanted things the last several days. They didn't know they were transplanted because it was rainy.
Yep.
Do not transplant spearmint.
I was just going to say, go through that little soil ball as much as you can and pull out any of those roots that you possibly can that you see crawling through the soil.
And if you do transplant spearmint, it will be taken over again.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
One
but
tiny
no,
little piece.
I am seriously, go after the show, go do it. That's really a great time. Good. It's making me think of some things I want to transplant. All right. Thank you, Betty. We're going to do one more and then we'll go back to the phone lines. But Mary just had a question about a lawn just being dethatched. So let's go to her question on line 5. Hi there, Mary.
Hello. I just had my lawn thatched, and I had creeping Charlie, been trying to control that. But now I have a lot of bare spots, and the majority of the lawn is on the west side, so it gets a lot of heat. What do you suggest in regard to a type of grass seed? And should I fertilize at the same time, or what's your suggestion?
Perfect time to ask this question.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think turf type tall fescue, surprisingly enough, would be an appropriate grass to seed. I would do that right after the show as well. We're running out of time. Most of the cool season grasses are best planted in the late summer period. So you can try it now, and then probably you'll need to maybe fill in a little more in the late summer. Be aware that controlling creeping Charlie is really difficult. Dethatching it probably didn't get rid of it. It's probably going to come back in your yard, and so you'll be fighting with that maybe down the road a little bit as well. A herbicide that we have used successfully with creeping Charlie is the trade name is common name for is triclopyr. It works pretty well on that. You may want to contact a landscaper or lawn care operator to help you out with that.
Okay. Very good. I was writing some notes down here too. All right, well, let's go to our panelists and maybe some emails next. So, Tom, I think we'll start with you.
Well, I have a second question tonight on email, and it's about burning grasses. It's from Michael, and he indicates he has 2 types of ornamental grasses: a false pampas grass or hardy pampas grass, Saccharum ravinae, and large clumps of miscellaneous miscanthus, and I assume they're Miscanthus sinensis. And he wants to know if he can burn them without damaging the crowns. You probably could have. Right now, I think we've had enough warm weather. We're starting to see some sprouting, and I wouldn't burn after we're seeing any green coming up. So I think that would be something for the future. You may want to do that a little earlier in the spring or late in the winter if you do that. And then be very aware how dangerous that can be. These ornamental grasses, prairie grasses, can really flame up, and they can produce a lot of intense heat very, very quickly. But you have to be very careful when you're burning that.
They shouldn't be near any structures.
Absolutely not underneath any trees or whatever. So.
And Tom,
And also, you better be in a place where you can legally burn. So.
Exactly.
That helps.
any of the ornamental grasses or prairie grasses can be burned?
I would say I would stay away from cool season grasses like Karl Forster feather reed grass or ribbon grass. Anything that has some green in it pretty much year round.
Okay.
I would stay away from burning those. So both the false pampas grass and the Miscanthus types are warm season grasses. So they pretty much go completely dormant during our winters, and you can safely. We've burned both of those successfully at our research center earlier in the year, though.
Yes, so not this year. Good question that was sent in. Thank you. Now, let's go to you, Mary Ann.
Good. I have a question about vines. And this is a question about his garden. A vine appeared gee, that happens a lot. I pulled out a lot of it growing on the ground, but now it's growing on my fence. I'm one who likes the look of ivy, but is this something poisonous that should be removed? I'm seeing leaves of 3. That's a good indication, leaves of 3, but not always. I actually looked at this picture a few times, and I saw 2 different vines in the photograph. And when I sat down, you guys helped me identify yet another one. But I believe a weed is a matter of perception, or any plant in the wrong place. What he has, I believe, is English ivy, a grapevine, and Virginia creeper in the photographs that were sent to us, all of which can be very attractive, useful vines. So if you like the looks of them, I'd certainly leave them. Let them do their thing.
So lots of variety in the vine category.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. And now on to you, Don.
Yes, I have a question on sick pear trees, and these people have 2 Cleveland pears that are 4 to 5 years old. They have always been healthy, but this year they didn't flower. The leaves have been spotty and small, and they of course are very concerned. Now the Cleveland pear is a close relative of Bradford pear, which is extremely widely planted. And what we saw mostly on those were something like this, where you got dieback of twigs. Last summer, there were just lots and lots of them that had dead flowers. And where they had the dead flowers, then the death has gone back. This is a bacterial disease called fire blight. And generally, the Bradford pears are resistant, but for some reason last summer, that resistance just wasn't there. Okay? Now that is not what they're talking about. It sounds like what they're talking about is more of a general death. Now you got at least 2 possibilities I can think of. One of, if you'll dig down a little bit right at the very base of the plant, just get just right below the soil level, and see if you've got a plastic twine in there that might have been wrapped around a root ball when these things were planted that didn't get cut. And sometimes what will happen is you'll have a root ball will start to get kind of bad in a wholesale or in a yard, in the sales lot yard, and they'll reball it. They'll put new soil around it and tie it up again, and you may not have seen that when those were planted. Also, the one that I'm surprised would kill both of them at the same time, but it could, would be Phytophthora, Phytophthora.
Good job.
It's a fungus, and that rascal, if you cut into the bark a little bit, it'll be brown or dark colored, and if it's Phytophthora, they're going to die sooner or later.
Okay.
So the best thing you can do right now is just hope they recover.
And those are your choices.
And if you got twine in there, you cut that and get it out of there.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for that. Let's go to our question about lawn fertilizer next. And this is Martha on line 2. Hi there, Martha.
Hi. I have a question about your feeling on using a lawn fertilizer. That's what it says on the bag, with the numbers 12, 12, 12 on it. And also, I'm going to plant a dogwood tree, and I wondered how deep I plant that tree.
Okay, let's do the lawn fertilizer.
A 12-12-12 fertilizer would typically be more of just a general purpose garden fertilizer. What we would look for in a turf fertilizer would be an analysis. Those 3 numbers would be in a ratio of 3:1:2 or 4:1:2 or 5:1:2, or even now the phosphorus fertilizers may be getting hard, or fertilizers with phosphorus and maybe getting hard to find. So you might find a 3:02 or a 4:02 or a 5:02 kind of fertilizer, and that corresponds more with what would typically be the minerals and the concentrations they would typically be in a turf plant.
So 12-12-12 could be just for generally,
and that's probably not gonna. It's probably not gonna hurt anything. It's gonna be fine, and it's oftentimes less pricey than a traditional fertilizer that's developed specifically for turf.
It's my favorite in a garden bed.
yes, it's a good all-purpose one. So now let's quickly answer the dogwood planting depth question. I don't know, Marianne or Dawn, either one of you.
Typically, any kind of tree or shrub should be planted at the same level as it is in the, whether it's in a container or whether it's balled and burlapped. That the top of the soil mass should be no deeper when you put it into the ground. Definitely. And if you're going to err, miss high rather than low.
That's what
Yeah,
I was going to
yeah.
say.
Totally.
Err on the high side.
Yeah. High is all right, low is not good.
That's right.
And then mulch, but don't
And
mulch
mulch.
like a volcano
Yeah.
into the center. Make sure you have it level. So I thought we could answer that pretty quick because it's running out of time. We're getting near the end of the show. But we thank the three of you for your expertise. Thank you for coming and giving us all kinds of fun show and tell. We have great viewers, and we want to thank you for your good questions on air and the ones that you email us. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week gardening. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.